welcome one and all to the Monaco Grand Prix. It's round number 8 of Season 7 RLH, and we're with the C6 Category 6 once again. We've got 16 drivers ready to batter out around the streets of Monte Carlo. And leading us on the outlaps is Gerbs. Made his debut last week in Monza. Very strong performance in qualifying, especially from the Alfa Romeo driver, who unfortunate in the race with an incident or two. However, should be in for a great. We've seen some great racing so far this week already. We're seeing if these guys can carry on the trend. And I have word from the paddock that it is a dry race and a dry qualifying session. So we'll see who comes out on top around this famous Principality. But Gerb's going to down towards turn 1, of course, Sandoval, and we'll see how he takes this. Very aggressive on the curb. Gets away without a penalty. That's judged that to perfection. Maybe watching the track guide, but making his way up through Beau Rivage and making that climb up towards the top of the casino. Keep dropping it down into third gear, and a very nice line here from the Alfa Romeo driver. A little bit of traffic up ahead, but that's a very, very good first sector time, an 18.6. And he's got his teammate just up the road. Looks to be on the medium tyres, are just coming out of the lows hairpin and down towards Portier. Teammate playing ball there. That was very close on the entrance of Portier, and he's hit the wall. Has Gerbs, that's big damage to the front wing, and he's going to surely get the pit. Can't sort of carry on like he would have wanted to from here. And we'll see further back who is the car just behind. That is going to be Pratik. Pratik is just behind. Well, he's the first guy to set a meaningful lap time. He's going purple in the middle sector at the moment. Makes his way through the second part of the simple chicane. Already run out of ERS deployment towards Raskas. He goes using first gear, and then through Anthony Nogues and onto the main straight. DRS will be open, and the time will be a 1 minute 13.1, a decent lap and a good bank lap so far for the Renault driver. Next we have Octavio coming towards the line. What will his time be? He can't quite match the Renault driver and goes in with a 14, and that's a very interesting line through turn 1. But Ralph, look at that. Our second place man in the championship has a stonking time of a 1:11.7. And the times are coming in now. Flamo Val going into 1 minute 12s. All separated by about a second at the moment. Dan goes into P3. Where the first McLaren drivers go, Big Bear goes into P4. Asmith just about to start his flying lap. Felix a little bit off at the moment in the middle sector, sorry, in the first sector, but using that medium compounded tyre. Reese Beer still in the pit lane, and Dan J just coming towards the end of the lap. We got Calais going to P4, in there goes Dan J running a bit too wide, and he's lost quite a bit of front wing doing that. Calais goes into P3, and Bruno puts his Bruno's still in P8. Calais was the only cars across the line on that occasion. Dan J sat in P8, but of course, oh, and he's run really wide. Just about keeps it without being a DNF. And we'll see how Felix is getting on. 57.4 for the first two. Asmith 18.8. I'm pretty sure that's not purple, but it says it's purple. And we'll see how he gets on. Going now through the tunnel section and down towards a very difficult chicane. Big support once again for the CDR boys, and running too deep. There is Asmith in the second part. He's going to have big damage. Just losing a little bit of that front end fence and running through to back. That's going to be very, very dangerous. He's got a Williams just behind. That's off Calais, but I think Calais is on an in lap. And just completely, will Asmith come into pit lane, or will he just try and finish this lap? He's going to try and finish it. McLaren driver, where will he put himself? In the meantime, Felix has gone into P9. On a set of medium tyres and crossing the line. Asmith does put his car into P7, so at least he's got a banker lap on the board. Of course, it is very easy to have a mistake around Monaco. Pratik, big improvements in that first sector, almost 4/10 of a second up on his personal best now as he makes his way flying down towards the swing ball. Again, another big hit against the wall. Gets away with any damage and making his way now towards Raskas. Dropping it down into neutral. That's a very interesting tactic, but it seems to be working for him. And coming now through Anthony Nogues and onto the pit straight. It's been a very good run so far for the Renault driver. Can he find a little bit more time on this lap? Actually loses time in the end. So poor middle sector, I think, for him. Nevertheless, still a decent time, and sat in P6 at the moment. Asmith invalidating that his current attempt. I'm guessing maybe down at turn 1. It might have been for him. Reese Beer though, just come out on track. And he's on a flying lap now, but he's gone locking up the tyres and into the wall, and that is going to lose him a bit of front wing. And he was a bit of a day late and $1 short on those brakes, and he's smoking up the rear tyres. We're going to see, I think the times will improve as the guys improve. Also a bit of track evolution throughout this qualifying session. A lot of guys on out laps at the moment. Pratik still going around. How's Skipper faring? Just starting his first flying lap, climbing up the hill now on a fresh set of boots. We'll see what he can do. He stamps on the lamp pedal down towards Mirabeau. He is purple, but I'm pretty sure that's not a purple first sector time for the Red Bull driver. And it's going to be interesting to see how this qualifying session progresses. Of course, Big Best is the man on form at the moment. Asmith had a really good week last time. Can the McLarens get closer to the top? The Williams has been really consistent in recent times as well. Can they carry on that good form? But Ralph, I mean, he's been consistent so much this season. He put his car on provisional pole after the first set of runs. That's a really nice line through the chicane there for Skipper as he flies through to back now, dropping down to 4th gear, interestingly, playing a little bit safe as he now flies towards the swimming pool chicane, hopping over the curbs, and the car very nicely gets out the way there. And then through Raskaz, and oh, there we go. First person to clip the wall we've seen. It's so easy to do. Down at Raskaz, just if you're a little bit too tight, you can clip the wall. And track limits on this circuit, it's more than just getting warnings and invalidation. It's just the physical damage you're going to get. There is no part of the track where you are safe, apart from probably the pitch straight. You know, every corner just has that risk of picking up a little bit of damage. And I think we're going to see that throughout the race and qualifying. Flying with Valvo on a flying lap, and Ralph as well. Where's Ralph on track? Ralph's a little bit ahead, but he looks like he's backed out of this attempt. Flying with Valvo was a big moment for him. It now is making his way through the tunnel and down towards the chicane, seeing how it looks for him. We're on board, we're right behind him, and now as he makes his way, and that was a very aggressive line through the first spot, just about avoids the wall on the exit and through to back now. Drops down to 5th, using a bit too much of the track, and like I said, you can just pick up a bit of damage. He went purple, and it was actually pretty looking good on his time, and wow, 1.3 seconds of improvement for Big Bet, and that is a very, very nice lap to put himself on the provisional pole. 1:11.1. Dan unfortunately invalidated this attempt, and I think it wouldn't have been fast enough for improvement for him. Oh, we got a spinner. Pratik's had a moment down at the chicane. He's the first person to clip the wall on the inside there, and I think Asmith and Octavio, I think, have had a coming together down at the Raskaz corner. So even in qualifying, the guys are so competitive. But Calais now on board a lap with the remaining in the Williams car, and he's giving full beans up Beau Rivage and towards the top of this Monaco circuit. Nice and tight on the inside, drops it down into 4th. And making his way towards the end of the first sector. He's at 14,000 up, just sneaking in to the sub-19 club and down towards the Lowe's hairpin. Gets a nice tight line there. Slowest corner on the calendar, of course. In second gear, he now drops down to Portier and running along that seafront underneath the casino and down towards the chicane. See what he can do. How late will he dare to brake? Dropping the car down into second gear, nice and tight through there, nice and tidy from Calais at the moment. And Gerbs has put his car into P4. Calais dropping down a position whilst on this lap. Ralph's on an out lap, and it's purple for Calais. He's finding so much time. He's 6/10 of a second up now. Beautiful line through the second part of the swimming pool chicane, down towards Raskaz. Can he find his braking point? Drops down to first gear. That's a perfect line. Running up against the wall, down through Anthony Nogues, getting on the power as much as he can. It's DRS. He's got no ERS left to play with. Towards the line. What can Calais do on this attempt? It's P2, a 1.1 second improvement. It's 11.3, and that's a very good lap from the Williams driver, making it the 3rd driver into the sub-12 club. And that was a brilliant last sector as well. Really gained the time back up through the middle and the final sector. Down though, just coming to the pit lane. Pratik those on a lap. What will he do is he now opens DRS, runs towards the line. Can he find an improvement on that P7? He's currently at 1:13, and he's going to change that to 1:12. 7/10 improvement, goes up in a P6. Good lap from him. Bruno on a lap as well, but goes a little bit too deep on those medium tyres. And invalidation already for him, and he's like missing a bit of front wing too. Quite a few guys on our laps at the moment. We'll see what tyres people have set their laps on at the moment. So top 10 all on the soft compound. Bruno trying to go on the mediums, or he did go on the mediums for his best lap. And Frankie Bott waiting as well. Reese on an out lap. We'll see who's just started a flying lap. Ralph's just starting a flying lap. We'll go on board as he makes his way now down towards, of course, Mirabeau, and then through towards the Lowe's hairpin. Keeping it nice and tight, just dipping those inside tyres onto that curbing. And again, very aggressive on the corner just before Portier, and now onto the tunnel section of the lap. Flat out through here and down towards the chicane, keeping it nice and tight, hugging that apex like his favourite granny. And towards the back he goes. Drops it down into 5th gear for a brief moment and then hits it straight back up. He's going purple at the moment, 0.3 of a second improvement. Can he challenge Big Bear's time of a 1:11.197? How's his run through Rascat? It's a very nice. Octavio is about the right distance for a little bit of a toe down the main straight, but gaining time all the way. He's run out of ERS, but towards the line, can he find the improvement he wants? He does, but he's just shy of Calais. That's a very good time from Ralph, and it's getting very competitive here in qualifying. Asmith, unfortunately for him, he's invalid his lap. That was a very good first sector time for the McLaren driver. Annoy Gamer and Octavio both on their flying laps as well. Who's coming across the line in a short while? Dan's just about to start his flying lap. We've got a Red Bull of Skipper just coming through the final corner and onto the main straight. What can he do on this time? It's 1:12.8. That's a big improvement for him. It goes into P8. Annoyed Gamer coming around the final corner. I think one of the Alfa Romeos. I think Gerbs has just put himself up in a P5 as of now. But Annoyed Gamer, what can he do? He goes into P9. 9/10 improvement. Everyone is finding the time here in this qualifying session. Octavio making some improvements as well for himself. Through to back now. Keeps it out of the wall. Dropping into 4th gear. But he's almost half a second up. Can he get into that top 10 here in qualifying? He'll be next card across the line. He's got, I think, Ralph just behind him. Of course, Ralph just set his lap time. He'll be into the pit lane to try and do one more attempt to through the final corner now and onto the main straight. What can Octavio do? It's going to be a 1:12.8. Is a 1.1 second improvement. He manages to sneak ahead of his teammate, who is having a brilliant lap. Great first sector, finding 2/10 at the moment is Annoyed Gamer. I think I got the Alpha Tower. He's a bit confused there, so apologies for that. But Annoyed Gamer going now down to what? Where's Gerbs? Oh, and it's invalidation there. Gerbs, I think. Oh, Gerbs has spun around as well too. Gerbs has had a moment somewhere, loses his front wing, and he'll be into the pit lane very, very soon. Dan goes up into P5, almost finding 2.5 tenths there. Another car around. Pratik's had a moment on his out lap. Skipper, unfortunately for him, is invalid to that one. Coming to the pit lane. What's Felix doing? He's about to start a flying lap. Here's the Alfa Romeo driver. And Flying Boy Val is just making his way out of Sandoval and up towards Massenet. And Gerbs is out of qualifying. Gerbs has hit the wall down at the back, and that'll be the end of his session. See Bruno, he's a bit further on in the lap. Luckily that car has been cleared out to back, flicking it now in towards the wall. It's so easy just to go in a bit too tight and hit that inside wall. But 7/10 at the moment for Bruno. He's got a big following. Can he find that little bit more time in the final sector? I'm sure all the fans from CDR will be wanting to see him do well. Making way through Anthony Noakes now and onto the main straight, losing the car a little bit but holding it just about. Ralph just come out the pit lane on an out lap. There's Big Bear, and it's a big improvement for Bruno. 1:13.2 puts his car into P12. How's Felix getting on? He's flying at the moment, almost 6.5 tenths of improvements for him. Now into Raskas and onto the main straight. We're going to flick straight to Flying Boy Val to see how he's getting on. The second we see the end of this lap, Flying Boy Val just makes his way through Anthony Noakes now as well. And it's a bit of improvement there for Felix. Flying Boy Val though towards the line. He's found improvements. Stays P4 as he drops into the sub 1 minute 12s. Who else is on a flying lap? But Pratik just not improving like he would have wanted to on this timer on this lap. And come around the final corner, I don't think it's going to be improvement for him just yet. Big Bear though making his way through Anthony Noakes, and I think we're going to follow a lap. Oh no, he's not. It's his teammate. Apologies, it's his teammate. Asmith. We'll follow Asmith, see if he can find some improvements on this lap. He'll be wanting to qualify second last week, got himself into the lead, but Big Ben managed to fight it back. So Asmith, we wanted to try and get one over his teammate. And can he do it here in qualifying? Of course, qualifying is so important for the Monaco Grand Prix. Ralph just going through Sandoval now, and Asmith finding the time at the moment. He makes his way through the Lowe's hairpin. A nice minimum speed there. I think it was above 40 kph there for the Finnish driver. Now making his way through 48 and onto the tunnel section of the lap. Big Bear started his lap. Calais just coming through Raskas at the moment. He's going to have a nice clear track in front of him as the Alfa Romeo comes into the pit lane. Down into the chicane. Bit of a lock up there from Asmith. Going to send him a bit too deep. That could compromise on the exit. Luckily the corner comes up quickly enough. We've got a retirement somewhere, I think that's in the pit lane. Asmith, 1.1 seconds been proven. This could be a big jump for the McLaren driver. Can he just continue with the momentum into the final sector? Has he got wing damage from that? He does, and he's going to go in a little bit too deep into Raskas. He's still going to get improvement, so he's going to want to finish this lap. Big Bear will be, I think is Big Bear with the next car to finish lap time. What can Asmith do on this run? He goes into P8 and surely that's him done. Dustin in qualifying. Big Bear's finding more time. He's a tenth and a bit up on this lap, making his way now down towards, can he get into the sub 1 minute 11s? Can he get a 110 something through Anthony Nogues? He turns in second gear, 90 kph, and on the power, DRS open towards the line. Cranky Bot's retired in the pit lane, and it is a 110.7. That's a mega lap from Big Bear. What can Ralph do? He's not been able to find the time, Ralph. He is going to be third at best in qualifying, surely, unless he can do another lap on this occasion. But Big Bear, what a time from the McLaren driver. And now no pressure, the likes of Calais. Can he respond in this final stage of qualifying? It's second at best at the moment for the Williams driver. But that is a mega time from Big Bear. And it's a good run at the moment from Calais. He goes now into Casino, and the run down towards Mirabeau. What will this first set to look like? It's almost 2.5 tenths of improvement from Calais. But this is a great battle between the Williams and then Ralph and Big Bear. Nice and tight through the Lowe's hairpin and dropping down now towards Portier. These yellow flags just in front, and that's for Big Bear and Ralph. Actually, the flag is out now for qualifying. Skippers finishes last lap. He will be P9 at the end of this. Flying without, not actually out on the track at the moment. He's an 11.8. That could be safe, I reckon. But down into towards the chicane, Calais. Oh, looked like he thought about turning in a little bit tight. That could have compromised him now. Through to back. It's a nice turn in, gets on the power. He's found a little bit more time. I feel like he's just going to be securing that second place, but can he get into the 1 minute 10s? Coming into Raskas now. Nice line through there, using first gear, getting it up into second quite early on, and then through the final corner, using first gear once again. DRS open towards the line. He's given it absolutely everything. It's going to be a 1:11.3, only finds 3 thousandths as he lost time towards the end. What can Dan do? Dan's come into the pit lane. And as Annoyed Gamer finishes his session to be P11. We're just looking at Reese Beer. Unfortunately, he's invalidated his time. He'll be 13th of best. Not great for Reese Beer. He's had a difficult couple of rounds. Both fast drivers have had, but there's only one here this evening. But what a qualifying session. A great battle towards the end. And I've got to say, it's been a great qualifying for the Williams once again. They did that in Spa. And we'll see, I'm going to say, Calais, it was a great time, right at the death, to find 3 thousandths, but Big Bear, wow, he's on another level at the moment in this championship. Can Calais get that first podium? He's in a really good position. He's looked really quick so far in qualifying. What a place to get it at Monaco. I know he wants it. I'm backing him all the way, of course. Calais for the win, yes, ends. Love to see Calais have a really good race this evening. Deserve it. Had a bit of bad luck so far this season, and so definitely deserves it. Of course, my teammate in GT Sports, I'm a little bit biased in that part of Shark Motorsport. But Ralph as well, P3, super consistent once again. He's still in the fight for the win, because Monaco is so unpredictable. Flying without, again, another driver like Calais up there. Just needs to get that good result. It was last, if I just check, for last week when we travelled to the Temple of Speed, Flying without did get P2. It was a great race from him, and a cracking final couple of laps for him as well. I do remember. Let's find a car actually on the track. I've covered Calais enough. Reese Beer, he was Reese Beer P13. He's currently down. He's actually third in the championship, Reese Beer. So, you know, the top two have just been managed to gallop away. You could say Big Bear on 119, Ralph on 89. And Big Bear 4 wins so far this season. Oh, we have a penalty. I just saw it flash up for a brief moment. I'm not sure who it's for. And it's for Skipper. So he'll be dropping down. That does promote quite a few drivers. Crankybot not opting to set a time. I do recall seeing somewhere he was looking to go from last to first. We'll see if he can do that over the 39 laps. But Big Bear on pole position. And it is actually his 4th pole position in RLH. In his 8th. So he's got a 50% pole record at the moment. He's on a different level compared to some of these guys, you would say. Great time from Calais and Ralph in a little club of their own, and then all the guys filter back. We've got to say, it must be so hard for Asmith having a team like that. You know, Rival was meant to be your sort of biggest teammate, and you know, Asmith has got on level terms with Big Bear on quite a few occasions this season, but Big Bear just so consistently quick, and well, I mean, look at it. 5 podiums this season, 4 wins. Can he be stopped on the streets of Monaco? The guys are just selecting their strategies. We know it's a completely dry race. So can we see anyone go for the alternate strategies starting outside the top 10? We might see Crankybot maybe start on a set of hards, maybe a set of mediums. But of course, a lap 1 safety car. I'm going to use the word inevitable. I'm sure they will be well behaved, but you never know. You do just never know. And the timer all about to drop. There's still quite a few guys who just haven't quite selected their strategies just as of yet. So hopefully they can get that sorted now. And here we go. So Williams, front right of the grid. And Big Bear takes us away on the formation lap. Followed by Calais. And we have Ralph, Flying Boy Val, Dan, Gerbs. Second race, another good qualifying for him. Can he have better luck this time around? Pratik, P7. Asmith, P8. You could argue a bit of work to do in this session, in this race. Especially if he's going to try and jump up. Currently on 36 points, the same as Flying Boy Val. There's a lot of guys just ahead of them in the 40s. Octavio 9th, 10th for Annoyed Gamer, and that is a very interesting call from Annoyed Gamer onto the mediums. He was actually 11th, but of course Skipper had that penalty. So you see what he's doing. Bruno doing the exact same. He's on the mediums in P11. Reese Beer on the mediums. Felix on the mediums. Skipper, of course, on those softs he qualified on. Danjo on the mediums, and Crankybot also on the mediums. I think one to keep an eye out for. Crankybot is not afraid of a cheeky move. Look how much the field is spreading out in this formation. That Big Bear's not mucking about at all. He's already on the run towards Raskas, and we're still on. We're still making our way through the tunnel here. He's going to be waiting on the grid for quite a while. And let's get the old position changes up as well, because I feel like we could have a chaotic start here. Who's going to be the big winners and losers on the run down towards Sandoval? No heroics from anyone, I hope. We don't want to see anything like that. To AlphaTauri slot into 9th and 10th. Then Bruno lines up second medium, third medium runner on track. Everyone who could have gone for the mediums has gone for the mediums. And then Crankybot lining up in his grid spot. We are ready to get racing around the Principality of Monaco. They're yellow flagged out. The lights are here now. We can see them just about in the distance. It's 4, it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. No heroics in the Sandoval, I hope. We can't see at all. Big Bear into one, and he holds the lead. I don't know who's in P2, it's 2 Williams and then a Racing Point and then another Williams. It looks like everyone's holding on to position for the time being. The timing board is having an absolute mare, you could say. Big Bear holding on. There's a verge of safety car, no spinners towards the back. I'm not sure who that might have been for. Asmith has, I think, dropped down few places. Gerbs as well. Who's the one that's made up the places? Hopefully it resets itself as we travel through the timing. Well, but that ball on the left-hand side not helping at all, and now it's starting to reset itself. So no, they didn't actually lose any places. Bruno's gained one. Reece Spears lost 4 places, and then a few penalties for collisions. We can see the strategy there. Medium to hard is what is predicted for those medium runners, or they might try a 2-stop, but of course that might require a little bit more overtaking. And we're racing once again here in Monaco. Big Bear leads them underway. Calais holding on to that P2. To be fair, the top 8 are in the order they started in. Back, Asmith all over the back. Or he was all over the back of Pratik. Not quite anymore. And on board, oh, that timing board is not updating, I don't think either. Oh gosh, it's all going well here so far. And Big Bear setting fast lap. He's already built a second gap, and there's yellow flags in sector 3. What's happened down there? It's all getting very close, and I think there's a bit of front wing damage for the Red Bull skipper pulling into the pit lane. And Danjay gets promoted up the place there, and Crankybot already up in the P13, finding quite a few places on that opening lap. But these guys are quite a way off the field. There seems a 5-second gap between Felix and the drivers in front, but the gap's already spreading out. It's so difficult to follow around Monaco, or so difficult to overtake as well. Get the tyres up so we can keep an eye on that, because that could be an important part of this race, especially as guys come into pit lane. But look at this, Ralph having a moment somewhere, and Flying Boy Val a lot closer to Ralph than Ralph is to Calais. Calais looking happy in a nice P2 at the moment. Big Bear's got a 2-second gap already, but Clay's got a nice healthy lead just behind. Crankybot close to Felix in front. 2 Ferrari powered cars. Let's see if we can have a go down in towards the chicane. Goes in a bit too deep on the brakes. It was front wing damage for the pair of them. I think Felix already has his. Danjay now is going to be closing in on the back of them. Big Bear setting another fastest lap of the race, and see they're also compromised at the moment with that front wing damage. Surely both into the pit lane. I'm not sure if the Renault driver has front wing damage. No, he doesn't. So he's going to be much faster than the 2 cars in front to make their way towards Raskas. And very deep there from the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo staying out. Crankybot coming in. There was actually quite a good opportunistic move there from Crankybot, but he wants a fully intact front wing, maybe opting for a set of hards and going to the end, putting on a set of softs, interestingly enough. So I think he's might have to come into this pit lane in a short while. I want to say firstly, well done to everyone. No safety car on lap 1. Danjay pressuring Felix. He's just got that, that complete front wing is the advantage he holds at the moment over the Alfa Romeo driver in front. You can just see he's got so much better grip, much better front end. Of course, he's still got all of his front end. He needs to try and maybe think about using a bit of overtaking. We've got to change of positions. Octavia, I think, has had a moment somewhere. Probably coming out of Portier and into the tunnel, because that seemed to be a very early move from Octavio. And Bruno drops back. Has he got a bit of wing damage? He does on that front right. So I'm not sure where he would have lost it to gain damage like that. We get up the telemetry just so we can monitor a bit of ERS. Yellow flag in sector 2, and there's been a coming together between Danjay and I think maybe Felix. That's who he was close with. And that does drop the Renault driver back. He's still with his front wing in fully intact, and maybe he might have clipped that wall on the inside. We talked a little bit about that earlier. Bruno is into the pit lane, getting rid of that front wing damage we saw. Asnif starting to pressure Pratik in front. Pratik a lot more ERS though to defend with, and a little bit of train forming behind Ralph, and they're slowly closing in on Calais. That gap's come down by about 3 tenths. Oh no, it hasn't. It's gone straight back up. It's gone down by a couple of tenths since the opening couple of laps. So maybe Ralph getting into a bit of rhythm now, and thinking about catching the Williams driver. We're on board with Asmith though, hassling that Renault. Of course, both Renault powered cars. Calais having a few moments. That gap's really coming down since I brought it up, and I regret bringing it up. Oh, and it's really come down. What's happened to Calais? I don't know. It's gone. That gap is toying with me. What? Has he still got a front wing? He does. I'm not biased, I promise. Oh, and Pratik, we move. We go off one driver, and the incident happens straight to him. It's maybe coming together. Or I think Pratik maybe spinning, hitting that inside wall. He doesn't look to have. He's got a little bit of front wing damage, but that releases Asmith now, and he's going to try and close that gap to Gerbs up the road. And Ralph almost have been DRS range now. Maybe Calais' tyres just falling off an absolute cliff. And as they've now got a lot of work to do to catch Gerbs, Dan, flying with Val, and Ralph. And look at Big Bear, I mean, he's gone. He's absolutely gone. 8.7 seconds. Change of positions in the pit lane. Further down the field as another gamer starts to drop back. So far, these guys are all looking good. That gap really is, you can see Calais so clearly. But the gap is, you know, fluctuating quite a bit at the moment. Appreciate the support from Portugal. CDR boys. Octavio's having a strong race at the moment in P8, gain a few positions. I feel like Bruno's going to be a little bit annoyed, but he's on the hard tyres. He can try something different. Can he go to the end and maybe benefit from any safety cars, virtual safety cars we could have later on? Bit of a train. Asmith already gained about a second on Gerbs. And, oh, big moment for Calais. I think he sort of had a tight, slight touch with the wall. And now he's right into the clutches of Ralph. A gap 0.3 of a second as they head down towards Sandervoort. The straight just not long enough to have a go at all. And of course, they're all running pretty much really high downforce. So that makes it even harder to overtake. This little train is just allowing Big Bear to gain such a big lead. And we got Bruno getting a 5-second penalty for corner cut. That seems very harsh. But down at that chicane, I mean, it can be, depending on how you take it. So looking further down the field. Instantly comes Danjay, I think, getting rid of maybe a bit of damage. He drops out of what was P12 at the time. And overtake enabled for Gerbs. Oh, that was running very wide. Just about keeps it out the wall as he had a massive moment in the tunnel. Now needs to regain that bit of composure to be able to go again, flying without hassling the back of Ralph. Can they get both Williams cars onto the podium? We know how consistent Ralph is, though. What's ERS looking like? Flying without's got almost double. He's got DRS as well. I don't think Ralph's going to have DRS. Could we see a move down in towards turn 1? But Ralph's got a fantastic drive out of Anthony Nogues. Flying without will be closing. Will he think about having a go? That was a shocking camera angle. And down into Sandervoort they go. He holds on. Gerbs into pit lane. Gerbs into pit lane from lap 5. He's putting on a set of hard tyres with yellow flags. And what is that? What is that? Big Bear. Big Bear's had a moment. He's crashing out from the lead. He's come off between I can't even get the words out, Casino and Mirabeau. And Calais now looking right on the back of him. Bit of a squeeze there. Has Calais got any damage? He doesn't. But Big Bear, that is a massive moment for our race leader. Calais hits the back of him. Oh, Calais hits the back of him. Of course, he's very slow. Calais doesn't get any damage. I'm really not biased, I promise. And Big Bear, well, he's missing quite a lot of that front right. All the elements of the front right. He's going to be really slow. Calais. Oh, I've got chills, literal chills. Big Bear's got to come into pit lane this lap. If he puts on a set of hard tyres, he can go to the end. It's a massive lock-up from the McLaren driver. He's really slow and just behind. Ralph has closed the gap in straight away. This race has come alive just by Big Bear. Well, I thought he was off, thought he was done. But Calais also got having to be so careful because it's so difficult just to sort of find the gap, and also further back. They're all doing the exact same thing. It's a massive train now forming behind our race leader. And surely Bibber coming to pit lane this time around. Can anyone gain from this? Going into Raskaz at a bit of a concertina effect. And Calais now inherits the race leader. Yellow flags further back is what's happened there. I think there's been a coming together, and there's a safety car. Safety car coming out. I think it might have been for Octavio, sort of blocking the track. Gerbs closes up, and he's just pitted relatively recently. This could help Big Bear. Of course, everyone. I do quite like the safety car dynamics because the safety car is currently sat on Beaurevard, that sort of straight between Sandervoort and the top of the hill, which means everybody has to run to a delta because the race leader is not behind it. So we are effectively under virtual safety car conditions until the race leader gets to the front of the pack. So what this should mean is the race should be neutralised, and I don't think Big Bear is pretty close though. Can he retake the lead under this safety car? It's going to be close, I think. But of course, in normal F1, it's probably a done deal that he would sort of regain that lead because he's able to travel, basically at normal speeds. But this is going to be very interesting. Surely now we're going to see Calais, Ralph, Flying with Val, Dan, Asmith, all into the pit lane for hards, or a set of mediums, one or the other. I can't see anything else happening. Gerbs could be in a fantastic position here as well, actually. Clay, yes, into the pit lane. Ralph into the pit lane. Flying by Val. Staying out. Not wanting to have to double stack down at Williams. Dan's in the pit lane. Asmith in the pit lane as well. Gerbs is the man I'm very interested in. Can he inherit the effective race lead? By pitting onto the hards, that sort of lap. What are they doing? Why are they hunting for a toe? Gerbs is in the lead. Gerbs is effectively in the race lead here. Ralph's gone for mediums. What's happened to Calais? Calais's been held up, I think. Oh no, Calais's been held up massively in the pits. Being at the end of the pit lane has not helped Calais out at all. Maybe he had to repair a bit of front wing. And that's cost him big, actually, this phase. I thought, well, you thought he would be in the lead, in a really good place from here. And Big Bear's actually only dropped down to P4. So considering how big of an accident it was, I think he's very happy boy that the safety car did come out when he did. You have to thank Octavio for that one. And well, Gerbs is the big gainer. Ralph, can he take the mediums to the end? I don't think so. That's 30 laps on those tyres. It's a big ask. So I think Gerbs is effectively in P1. And Big Bear, I don't think has lost out massively from this. He's very lucky. Bruno has been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. Unfortunate to the CDR fans. Or maybe he hasn't been disqualified. I'm not sure. That's what it said at the bottom. I'll have to see what happens to his car. He still seems to be in the race. So I don't think he has been disqualified. I think he's fine. Luckily for him. Flying without staying out once again though. What's he hoping for? Because the longer he stays out, the more the pack will join up. The more the pack will join up. I mean, from personal experience, those tyres are not going to be looking good. 9-lap-old soft tyres. Did qualifying on them as well. That car's going to be very difficult, especially in comparison to the guys behind. Oh, very crazy 10 laps so far in this race, and that safety car definitely helped out Big Bet, and hasn't quite been punished. Calais also the big loser from all this. Really unfortunate for Calais. I think maybe just where he was in the pit lane, maybe changed a bit of front wing, but has lost out big time. And dropping now down to P6, losing places to Dan, Ralph and Flying Boy Val. He could be a little bit annoyed under that helmet, but hopefully he can try and make something up. I'm not biased, I promise. We'll see hard tyres for Gerbs, Big Bear, Dan, Calais, Asmith, Pratik, Felix, Reese Beer. They're all the ones that can go to the end. Who isn't joined up with the pack? Everyone's going to join up with the pack, apart from Bruno, who probably needs to try and unlap himself. But the safety car is in this lap. Flying Boy Val becomes the effective safety car. I'm sure he'll go out of Anthony Nogues. That's when he'll decide to put his foot to the floor. He's got a nice little buffer of the lapped car between him and Gerbs. And now coming through, Anthony Nogues. He's going to put his foot down, and away he goes. A little bit of a moment coming out of there, but I think we turn our attention to further back down the field. Is anyone close? Had a yellow flag down in the final corner. Somebody's had a moment there and getting caught up. Asmith, Annoy Gamer, and Octavio, Pratik as well, involved in that little skirmish down at turn 1. Octavio running a bit deep, just like keeps it out of the wall, and then spinning off goes Octavio. Octavio dropping down the field. Now he's facing the wrong way as they climb up the hill. He spins, but luckily he's ghosted on this occasion. He needs to be dropping all the way down to P14, and just we have a safety car while he's down in 15th place now. So not a great couple of laps from the CDR boys at all. Asmith under attack, down the inside goes Felix. Can he make the move, stick into Mirabeau? I think actually Asmith's gone too deep. Asmith's gone way too deep. He's had a Rosberg. He's had to go to the runoff, and just trying to hold on that position. I think Felix would have got that one. But Gerbs really attacking Flying Boy Val. Now he's gone in way too deep. That allowed Ralph to have a go. Big Ben now having a look at the back of the racing point. make their way through to back, and really struggling now is Flying Without out in front. I'm sure we're going to see him into the pit lane pretty soon. And he's trying, and Reese Spears had a moment. He's into the wall, maybe clipping that inside. We talked about it earlier, and that's a very aggressive line from Octavio. Gets a warning from that, I'm sure. Yellow flags are out. And Crankybot closing on the back of the Alfa Romeo driver, back at the front. Gerb's not able to find a way past down towards turn one. Both really using their overtake, and Ralph being very patient with it, you could say. And well, it's tough to be patient if you're in Ralph's position. You want to be using those medium tyres, and also you've got Big Bear just behind you, of course, your championship rival. And we'll see Noah making a move into the Lowe's hairpin on this lap. And it's very close to Crankybot on Felix. Crankybot on the mediums, Felix on the hards. And Gerbs now has got a run, I think, on Flying Boy Val through the tunnel section and down towards the chicane. Williams driver under attack, but not late enough on the brakes. There was the Alfa Romeo. Make their way now on the run towards the back. It's been a fantastic exit for Gerbs, but he just had nowhere to go, nowhere to get past. It was like Ricardo and Hamilton in 2016 through the swimming pool. And he's still frustrated behind the back of Flying Boy. Val's just trying to sort of stretch this one out as long as he can, so he doesn't lose as many positions. Maybe try and keep ahead, and Crankybot and Felix are side by side. Crankybot slots ahead on the exit on the run towards the back. But it's all getting very close up at the front as well. As Dan is now joining the party, DRS is enabled. I'm sure we're going to see maybe a few more moves. Flying Boy Vag does get a 3-second time penalty, not helping his case out front. And making their way up through Beau Rivage. And towards the end of this first sector, Big Bet. Oh, he had, again, just nowhere to go. That's the problem. Even when the guy in front is a little bit slow through one of the corners, you just can't find a way past through any of that. And a bit of a train forming at the moment behind Flying Boy Val, trying something different, but actually I think everyone's just closing up. Crankybot is closing in a Pratique at quite a rate. We'll have to check on the gap between the leader, and you can see, I think, gap pit time's about 30 seconds. He could be coming out behind Danjay at this rate. Flying Boy Val, I think he should have just risked it and just had to, you know, put up with waiting behind his teammate in the pit lane. That's my personal opinion. You can see how much Bruno's galloped away from him since the safety car restart, because Bruno managed to unlap himself. Because he can just ghost. And we'll see Gerbs still behind Flying Boy Val with DRS now. Can he get past into turn one? What will Flying Boy Val do? He's going to stay out once more. He's really stretching these soft tyres. I'd love to know what percent they're on. But DRS now, overtake enabled for Gerbs in the Alfa Romeo. Can he find a way past down towards Sanderbot? No heroics, please. Had a look, I think, around the outside. Big Bear close on the back of Ralph as well. But no getting past into Sanderbot. And all very close as they climb up towards the top, towards Casino. And on the run down towards Mirabeau. Ralph avoiding the bump more than others, and they just have to tuck back into that train. It's all getting very close. I think the Haas of Reespears had a moment down at Raskas, but has carried on without any issues. Skipper's really closing in on Felix. Mediums versus hards at that part of the lap. Now onto the main straight. What can Gerbs do this time around? There's contact between them. There's wing damage for, I think that is Gerbs. And Flying Boy Val. That is big damage for both of them. Surely both into the pit lane. We got to it very late, but I got a feeling Gerbs tried to squeeze around the outside, and Flying Boy Val might have, not on purpose, sort of shut the door and then just sort of came together and pushed them both into the wall. I think we're going to see Flying Boy Val definitely into the pit lane. What will Gerbs decide to do? They're both ducking to the pit, and that gives the race lead to Ralph. Got flags in sector 3, and I think somebody's gone for an audacious move there. Clay's got wing damage. No, Clay's got wing damage to his front left end fence, and Danjay hasn't got any damage. I think, I don't know, I'm actually not too sure what happened down there. The pack was bunching up, and I feel like the concertina effect might have caught a few drivers out. But again, that is not great for the guys at the front. Calais now dropping back. That wing damage really compromising him. And Flying Boy Val and Gerbs are coming out in 10th and 11th respectively. and their battle. They're going to medium tyres. They can go to the end on that set. Keep a little eye out on for how they get on. Further down the field, they're not separated by a lot at the moment. All the gaps starting to spread out up at the top. Calais, or what would you do if you're Calais? Felix and Skipper coming to blows. I think Skipper's managed to get past Felix through the tunnel. Luckily no contact between those guys. As very deep into the corner goes Felix, and the third CDR driver not to have the best of luck at the moment. Dan J gets a penalty. Further back, Crankybot. And Pratik spinning around through Anthony Noakes, keeps it just about out of the wall. Yellow flags are out, but nothing more. Bruno's in the pit lane. He's put on an old set of mediums because I feel like he hasn't got any more. Gerbs closing in on Dan J as Final Valves managed to get past the Renault driver. Can Gerbs replicate that? Overtaken DRS enabled for the Alfa Romeo driver. Will he send one down the inside into Sandoval? It looks like he is going to do that, and I feel like Dan J maybe just used his head there and sort of gave up the position. Noy Game now trying to have a good run up through Berrivage. Final Valve. It's coming to pit lane again. It's gone from bad to worse for the Williams driver. He is now down in P15 and he is praying for a safety car at this point. Really unfortunate for him so far. You see how much Calais dropped back. Here was another driver hoping for a safety car. Showing a little bit of that wing damage, but he's not under that much pressure. From Crankybots up to P5. Starting last, been a great drop from Crankybot, keeping it nice and clean so far. I wonder how his front wing's looking. He's looking very racy. I think he managed to sneak past Pratik, didn't he? And Pratik had that little moment coming out of Anthony Noakes. Crankybot starting to attack the back of that Williams to get that underneath a second. It's actually the only gap underneath a second on the track at the moment. If only Ralph went onto the hard tyres. He would have been such a great point in this race if he went onto the hards rather than the mediums. I just don't think the mediums can go to the end of this race. I really, really don't. Crankybot keeping within touching distance of the Williams driver just in front. Gerbs is closing in on his teammate. Hards versus mediums. Will Felix fight this one? Knows Gerb's speed, and I think he'll know the difference in pace, especially at this phase of the race. Apologies, I do not speak Portuguese, so I can't read out any of your chat messages, but I'm assuming you are finding the funny side of the unfortunate events for the CDR boys this evening. Crankybot now really close to Calais, almost losing it out of the swimming pool chicane. Keeping one on the bout between the Alfa Romeos. Calais is into the pit lane. We've got a safe yellow flag. That looks like it's been cleared up straight away. And Gerb's got a 3-second penalty there and multiple warnings. And where will Calais come out? I think he's just about going to get ahead of this battle, which will be very important for his race if he does. Please come out, Calais. He's coming out the pit lane now. It's going to be super close. I think he's going to lose out to all three drivers. That's really annoying for the Williams driver. I think both Williams drivers' things just gone from bad to worse. Gerb's desperate to find a way past Felix, can't find a way up through to the top of the hill, up towards Massenet. Oh. I completely missed that. Apologies, I completely missed that. Felix dropping now down to P9. Gerbs and Annoy Gamer both past the Alfa Romeo driver. I was looking down trying to read the Portuguese on the stream. But Calais already onto the back, and then we've got 3 wide at this point. Clay's managed to get straight past. Asmith follows through Felix. I don't know what's happened to him. Bit of sticky gears or something. Octavio's got past Dan J hitting the wall. But Calais past and up into P9. Felix has not been going well for him. I don't apologise. Yeah, you don't have to apologise at all. If it was related to the race, I can't read it out. Yellow flags. I think that's for Octavio. Doesn't look to be any damage or dramas between these guys. And Bit of a lock up there, and that's a very sneaky move from Octavio, getting past Felix, who ducks into the pit lane. I think he might have had a little bit of a drama at some point, which gave him, I think, a bit of wing damage. Looking further up the field, Cranky Bot's on for a podium here. You know, he's very close to it. And starting from last, he did say he'd get P1. Was it P16 to P18 to P1? I think was what he messaged earlier on. And someone that's looking very racy at the moment. We have a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. Not sure what for. Oh, Bruno's out of the race. Bruno is out of the race, and we'll see there he is on the right hand side, crashing into the wall. Boy, I would have loved the safety car. Unfortunately, coming a little bit too late for Calais, who recently came into the pit lane, our most recent pit stopper. And I think Big Bear will be looking for when this safety car comes in. Penalty for Felix. Only we are green and racing once again. It's not been a great place for Big Bear. Can Ralph get a good exit? DRS is enabled instantly. Yellow flag in sector 3, and that's the McLaren of Asmith. What's happened to him? Into the wall, and he's coming into the pit lane straight away. Not sure what happened there, so we're not going to speculate. But Gerb's under attack from Annoy Gamer. Alpha Tauri versus Alfa Romeo in the current battle for P8. Big Bear's having a good run on the back of Ralph. Dan just gone into the wall. He's coming down in P15, not had a good couple of laps, having recently pitted, and that's not going to help Ralph at all. He's going to be really compromised, just visually, and then overtake enabled, and this is going to be bad for Asmith, seeing his teammate fly past. Bit of lock up from Big Bear, and almost coming to blows there on the pit lane exit were the two McLaren drivers as they climb their way up towards the top of the hill. Asmith racing at Danjay straight out the box though, so he'll be glad he managed to nip ahead, but I think those tyres are starting to feel not so great as they go through the Lowe's hairpin. Felix not helping out, you could say. He's just running his own race, and down into Portier, a little bit too deep from Big Bear, and that's what happens. And Backmarkers get involved. The Ghosted, he's lost DRS for the time being, but I feel like he's got the pace to get that back very quickly. Bit of a lock up into the chicane. I'm not sure how penalties will play this one out, to be honest. See, nice run through the swimming pool chicane. Can he close up enough to have a go into Sandoval? This is the battle for the lead. Bit of a moment coming out of Raskaz, but holds the car just about. Quick check on ERS. Ralph has enough to defend, I've got to be honest. But I just think towards the end of this race, the hards to the end are a lot easier. All of a moment there from Big Bear, and he's lost sort of 3/10 coming out of Sandoval. Asmith starting to close in on Felix. That gap's now underneath a second in the battle for P12. And he's really closing in actually, Asmith. Well, whereabouts are they on track? I'm not sure where they are on track. Oh, they're just behind. Yeah, they are. There they are. They're on the left-hand side. That's the battle for P12. That's just behind that battle for P1. And Felix at the moment can see Asmith and Danjay in his rear view mirrors. Overtake enabled for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's using that to defend, while Asmith has got enough to attack with. Bit of a lock up from Felix. Manages to avoid the mistake Bruno made on the exit though. Oh, and it's big closing from Big Bear. Any issues in terms of wing damage? No, Big Bear's got such better pace on these tyres. I feel like the mediums are just starting to drop off. Yellow flags further back, and that is for the Haas driver of Reese Bear. He's had a moment into Tabac, and easy enough defending from Ralph. But the ERS game is pretty much even Stevens now. Big Bear's deciding to use his up Beaurivage towards the top of Massane. Will he make a move? That would have been a bold move. Ralph's run wide. Can he sneak up the inside? Not on this occasion. And through Casino, McLaren is looking just in much better shape at the moment. Oh, very deep. That is a big moment in this race. Oh, and it's a big crash. lock up and into the back of Ralph. I do not know how on earth there is more damage on that car. He's only missing the end fence. Well, that could have been an airplane crash, to be honest with you, both of them. And that is a game changer in this race. Because what does Big Bear decide to do? Can he live with that for 16 more laps? Of course, Ralph has the tyre disadvantage at this point, but surely... Oh, we got a flag for back, and that's the McLaren driver of Asmi. If he's at a moment and coming together, I think maybe with... That's a big hit with the wall. Coming together maybe with Felix and Danjay, because we didn't see what happened in that battle. Will the safety car be called out? It looks like we're going to get away without having to need a safety car. And that could have very easily been a safety car, because we just sat on track, but we're greening racing once again. Big Bear just got such better, much better pace, or had much better pace. And Asmith retiring from the race. That's down at the back. Safety car is out. What do people decide to do now? Big calls need to be made by some of the drivers. Who's going to do what at this point? I am clueless. Danjay straight into the pit lane. He's been on a fresh set of softs. Can the softs take you to the end there? That's 15 laps. I put on a set of mediums if I was in this race. You can see they can do 15 laps. But see, Skipper, Annoyed Gamer into the pit lane. What will Calais do? Oh, Calais staying out. Guess they're only 5 laps old. He can go to the end. He's going to take advantage of this. 2 free positions there for him. Of course, track position, of course, we know how important it is on this circuit. Gerbs passes the safety car. Surely both leaders into the pits. Surely. Danjay. He'll be in the pits for a new set of mediums, I imagine, as well. Annoyed Gamer opting for softs. I'm surprised people are going for the softs. We saw how Flying with Valve's tyres fell apart towards the end of his soft stint. I just think that's maybe not the right call. Ralph in the pit lane. What's Big Bear doing? He's staying out. Big Bear is staying out to go to the end on the hards. What would Dan do? Because I'm sure Ralph is in the pit lane for a new... Dan gets a penalty under the safety car. What tyres will Ralph go for? It's a new set of mediums. What will Dan do? Dan's staying out. Dan is staying out. Will he jump? Ralph, though. Ralph is on the pit lane exit now. We have Felix in the pit lane down in P12. Here comes Dan. It's going to be a battle between the two drivers. And Ralph is going to get ahead. That is big for this race, because towards the end, well, I mean, not even off the safety car restart, 17 lap old hards versus the fresh mediums. I know which car I'd rather be in. Cranky Bots into the pit lane too. He doesn't have a fresh set of mediums, so he puts on a set that are 2 laps old. Can Calais get ahead of the Ferrari driver? Come on, Calais. He's just about going to nip ahead of the Ferrari. Flying Boy Valve isn't going to get that luxury, though. And this race has been shaken well and truly up. Annoyed Gamer's into the pit lane. He's getting rid of a fresh set of softs. Is he changing a bit of front wing as well? I'm not sure. But going opting for the mediums instead. Would rather have those 4 lap old mediums. Danjay just coming out the pit on a fresh set of softs. And, well, this is game on. Game on between Big Bear and Ralph. Ralph's going to have much better pace. Of course, Big Bear still has that wing damage. Big Bear still has the wing damage. Completely forgot about that as well. So he's well and truly got one hand tied behind his back. And I can't call this. Of course, it's so difficult to overtake at Monaco. The ERS levels have basically been reset as well. I can imagine we'll be in the pit lane next lap. So if I'm the likes of Calais, Crankybot, Flumbot, I'm getting a move on at this point. Get a move on, guys, because you need to be, you want to be right on the back of the pack to be able to pick up any pieces and capitalise from anyone else's misfortunes. And of course, you want to try and make up basically a bit of free time. You can gain all that time on the cars in front for free. I think they will be doing it, but yeah. I mean, if I'm these guys. Oh, plays in the pit lane. That's a lap too late. It's a lap too late. Calais, you should have come in the last lap. What's he going to put on? He's throwing the dice. He's getting rid of a bit of the front wing damage. Maybe he didn't have it set on that last time around. He's going on to a set of soft tyres, so just throwing everything at the racetrack now. He will come out in P11 as Annoyed Gamer gets past him. So a lot of work to do for Calais. The only driver left on the lead lap. The The last driver left on the lead lap of Reespear, currently sandwiched between, I'm going to guess, Dan and Pratik. Felix, where's he situated? He's in there as well, somewhere. And Dan J just makes his way through 48. Can that cross overtake? They're getting in the way a little bit. But safety car, I'm sure, is in this lap. Oh, Gerbs got a penalty for a collision with Felix. And I feel that's a little bit unfair because, well, they're lap runners. And where even is Gerbs in comparison to Felix? I don't even know he's up the road. Safety car not in this lap though. Or is it? It is not in this lap. Pratik gets a penalty for a collision with Gerbs. They are a bit harsh and all spinning the pit lane Reespear. Getting rid of an old set of hard compound tyres. And Felix in the pit lane too. So at least that removes the back markers from the running order. But one thing I will say to some of these drivers, if you think that penalty, if they're listening well, that is, if you think that penalty can be removed, if you think that penalty can be removed and you think the stewards would agree with your opinion on that removal, make sure you don't pit again because it will be served. And you can't remove a served penalty. But we will be racing in the end of this lap. And 2 lap old mediums versus 19 lap old hards. And wing damage. But Big Bear's just so quick. I mean, I can't call this because it's also so hard to overtake at Monaco. If he can just make sure he gets the exits out of the corners right, we're going to see a reversal of what happened earlier. Ralph, instead of Big Bear on the back of Ralph will be challenging here. He's much better pace through the corners, but the straights just aren't long enough. So he's going to need to be clever, Ralph. We'll have a quick check on penalties for the drivers up at the front. Big Bear, well, what else do you expect? Oh, 2 warnings. That's interesting. Ralph has got no warning, no penalties either. Dan, a couple of warnings and a penalty. And we'll cut straight back to the action because the safety car is in this lap. There's no warnings. It's a straight fight between the 2 drivers at the front. Big Bear now our effective safety car. Everybody is connected with the back of the pack. 3 lapped runners in there. They're all towards the back of the field though, and the safety car pulls off into the pit lane and Big Bear rounds and goes through Anthony Nogues and he's off and away. It's been a good exit for our race leader. Turn our attention further back in the pack, making sure there are no more incidents at Anthony Nogues. That's what we saw last time. Everyone getting through relatively unscathed. What can Clay do from P11? He's on a fresh set of softs. Can he go for it from there? Gerbs looking racy up towards Massenet. Oh, particularly wide. Down the inside goes Gerbs. Cranky, but a fantastic run as well. And you can see Pratik just losing it. Going into Massenet at the top of the hill. Bit of wing damage not helping him at all. And sneaking past was Gerbs. Crankybot then followed with a lovely move around the outside into Casino. Often where Pratik goes, he's in a really tricky position. There are 3 drivers, Dan, Big Bear and Pratik, all on really old hard tyres. They're the ones who are vulnerable. That's down the inside from Blind, but that is a fantastic move. Just about. Well, that's a questionable if he got it done deep from Octavio, I think, there as well. And that was a very deep move. Gerbs hassling the back of Dan. You can see there's mediums versus the hards, but they are very old. Very, very old mediums as well. 13 laps old of age. Octavio challenging the back. Skipper having a look past Pratik, who that's Dan J. Yeah, he's on fresh softs. Pulling into the pit lane there is Pratik, getting rid of the hards and I think a bit of wing damage as well. And they're dueling the 2 Alpha Tauri cars, and that is Annoyed Gamer past. Calais currently in P10. He's trying to find a way through as I think Felix has just gone through him. But up the hill we go. Gerbs on the back of Dan already. That gap's come down by like 2 seconds in such a short space of time. And look at this, Ralph hassling the back of Big Bear as well. It's all going off on the safety car restart. There's dueling away between Reespear. I think he's gone down the inside of somebody. I think that's Octavio. But now there's a battle for the lead. Ralph, the straight corner just comes a little bit too quickly for him, but Big Bear's going to really start to struggle. Definitely towards the end of this race, he's under attack, and his race lead is under threat. It's been One win for Ralph so far. That was in the first round in Austria. It's been 4 wins for Big Bear. Can he hold on to a 5th? It's like Hamilton versus Verstappen in the 2019. Oh, Dan hits the wall there on the inside on Raskas. It was like 2019. And Dan has a big moment. Overtake now enabled for Gerbs. That door looked to be a little bit shut on the outside. When we look at the corner, who comes out on top? They're side by side into the wall. Matt's a complete loss of front wing and he's into the wall again. It's got like Cranky Bot to get past and he's now up in a P4. There's a safety car. Well, for not a lot. Let's be honest, that's not a safety car by any stretch of the imagination. But 2 into 1 just didn't go. And, well, trying to get his way around the outside. Gerb's going to have to come into pit lane. I think Dan might have been a bit aggressive there, trying to hold on to the position because he definitely lost it out of the corner. But maybe trying to go around the outside into turn 1 wasn't the best of ideas, knowing that Dan had those old hards on. The safety car is out once again, a little bit unnecessary. But what are people going to do now? Is anyone going to come into the pit lane? Surely Big Bear will stay out. You would have thought. You know, he has track position. If he pits now, he's going to drop back to probably P9. And he does stay out. Ralph stays out. Dan actually has all of his front wing. I think he'll stay out. Dan does stay out. Cranky Bot stays out. Gerbs, yeah, has to come in to the pit lane. Dan gets a penalty. Flymore out, gets promoted now up in a P5. Skipper stays out. Annoyed Gamer staying out. Calais staying out as Dan J comes into the pit lane. Ratigue's only just pit for mediums. He'll be staying out as well. And well, this does help. Does help Big Bear because he now has less racing to do, defending from Ralph. But those hard compound tyres are going to get cold, and they're a lot harder to keep. It's a lot harder to keep the temperature in them under safety car conditions than the mediums, and especially these much fresher mediums. Those, I'd love to know what percentage of those hards are on right now. You know, I think in probably maybe 50%, while the mediums are probably sort of 20. Flying Boy Val, those mediums are going to start to become very difficult, but he's in a good position. Cranky Bot, well, he's on for a podium here at this rate. Well, we've got the chance now. We'll have a check at penalties up and down the field. Big Bear, has he gained any? Just the 2 warnings to his name. Ralph, again, not many. Dan J, couple of warnings. Penalty and a 5-second penalty. I think he's just got it. Cranky Bot, I think a few penalties to his name. Flying Boy Val's got quite a few as well. Skipper, quite a few penalties. Annoyed Gamer, quite a lot early on. I've been pretty clean since. What's my boy Calais doing? Oh, Calais, that's only 2 warnings, please. Please keep close to the guys at the front. You never know, you could do well on penalties. Gerbs dropped back quite a bit. He's got a few penalties to his name as well. And Pratik round out the top 10. Just 1 5-second penalty to his name as well. And there you go, Flying with Val. He's got a collision with Cranky Bot. Has he got wing damage from that? He has got wing damage, and that's substantial wing damage. Calais in a very nice position here. No penalties at all. If the field doesn't spread out, or he can make sure he keeps close enough to people up the road, he could be one that gains a lot of positions from this. And I would like to see that. I feel like he's been a bit unlucky today with the safety car when it came and just what happened in the pit lane. The only person coming to pit lane I think is Gerbs and Reesbit. So far, who's having a really good race in terms of position? Well, Dan, we've known he has great pace. He's got a couple of poles this season. In his RLH career, he currently has 2 poles, so we know he's got great pace, and he's been a bit unlucky this season. Currently in P3, can he hold on? He's currently down in 15th. So these points will be massive for him. Cranky Bot joined a little bit late, and he's got 33 points, 2 podiums so far. I think he's only finished on the podium, if my maths is correct. 15 plus 18. Flying Boy Val, he's currently 8th in the championship. Can he get a 2nd podium? Skipper, he's currently sat in P5, so we'll look like another good result today. But the safety car is in this lap. Big Bear becomes our leader as we head through Raskas and then down towards Anthony Noakes. He'll go out of here, I am sure. I think Ralph just copied him and did the exact same. There's a moment there coming out of the corner. Can Ralph challenge down in towards Sander Vaught? Not on this occasion. We turn attention to further back. Skipper having a go at the Williams, not close enough on this occasion. And Gerbs and Calais going side by side. I think Gerbs has just tried to go past and he's managed to get past. That's a bold move from Gerbs. Yellow flag's further back. I think that is for... I don't know who that's for. I think it's for Felix. And Clay dropping that one position. So make our way now down towards the Lowe's hairpin. The front guys, there they are at the bottom of your screen, making their way now down towards Portier. Big Bear's already built a second gap. Ralph needs to get on this one if he wants a chance at winning. Only 6 laps left of this race, and it was Felix who had that. Something happens to him down at turn 1. Now Gerbs, he's got Calais. He now wants to annoy Gamer, going through the tunnel down towards the chicane. Can he make the outside line work? He just about nips ahead, and later on the brakes puts his car up into P7. Skipper keeping within touching distance off Flying Boy Val. 2 laps between their mediums, but Gerbs is straight onto them. You can see the difference in entire life between them. There's 13 laps between Gerbs and Skipper, and then 15 laps between Flying Boy Val and Gerbs as well. To make our way down towards Sander Vaught once more. Ralph's not close enough. He's barely within DRS range at the moment. Surely it's now or never for him. But the field hasn't spread out too much. We could see penalties play a big part in the end of this race. Octavio challenging Pratik. Can he get himself inside that top 10? In the final couple of laps, it's softs versus mediums in that battle. But look who's closing in. Big time Ralph on Big Bet. Nothing silly, boys. But we do want to see Ralph have a really good go. Of course, this is the battle between the 2 championship protagonists. Ralph wants to make sure Big Bet doesn't get too far away. That's a very aggressive line through the chicane from him. Gerbs closing in on Skipper, who's still on the back of Flying Boy Val. Calais wants to try and follow Gerbs through now after Gerbs got the overtake on him. Can he find a way past Annoyed Gamer anytime soon? It's softs versus mediums, but I think the relative tyre life is pretty similar between those 2 cars, and almost having a moment there was Gerbs. I feel like the back end was about to fly around, but it didn't. DRS is enabled, and Ralph is very much within DRS range of Big Bear up front. They made their way out of Sander Vaught and up Beau Rivage. Big Bear's been abusing that overtake button. Ralph needs to play this sensibly. Try and take a little bit more life out of those tyres. 27 lap old medium. It's going to get really difficult for the McLaren driver now. Down at Ferrari, they're looking for a good on-track finish at the moment. I think there was a few penalties involved, if I remember correctly, for those guys. Into the pit lane is Reese Beer. Not been a great race for him once more. It was difficult to overtake at Monaco. Don't use overtake here, you're not close enough. Down in towards the chicane. No luck at the moment, and has to back out of it. And that's going to compromise him loads of time because he's going to lose so much speed on the exit. And the run towards the back, you see that gap now over a second, and losing probably about 7/10 there in the process. Gerbs closing on a Skipper, but again, not quite close enough. It's the massive difference in tyre wear, and we're just not able yet to overtake. At the moment, the straight just aren't simply long enough. They make their way into Raskas once more. 4 laps left of racing. It's like a car park down there at the moment. What's Clay's view of all this? Good one, missing the lap sheets a little bit there. The Williams driver. Dan J into the pit lane. He's a lap down. Ralph still, he's managed to get back within that second as he loses a second. He might have had a moment coming out of Casino. But Pratik now having a look at the back of Calais. Those soft tyres will start to go off a little bit, I imagine. And Gerbs down in towards the Lowe's hairpin. Didn't have a go on that occasion. Oh, dropping back there is Pratik. Now 1.2 seconds between him and Calais. Clay's all to the back of Annoyed Gamer as well. Gap at the front. 4/10 of a second. That's come down by massive amounts. We're in a helicopter shot now. This is a nice shot, making their way through the swimming pool. Part 1 and then part 2. That gap just comes back up though. Big Bear just knows where to take the life out of his tyres, but the further we get, this is a really nice camera angle. Coming now through, Anthony knows, can he have a go this time around? He loses the car a little bit on the exit. Calais gets his final and third warning, and he gets that penalty that he would not have been wanting. He can still make up positions though. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys have more penalties than he does, but it's all getting very close in the battle. Behind Flying Boy Val, Gerbs still hassling the back of that Red Bull, and Pratik has managed to close back in on Calais, and I think he's having a go, maybe having a look up the hill. He's right on the back of the Williams driver. No overtake left to use, neither does Calais. Running wide, will he sneak right the inside? There's contact between them. There's front wing damage now for the Renault driver, and Gerbs still stuck behind the Red Bull, but still Ralph stuck behind his championship rival. They got 5/10 of a second. What's Big Bear looking at? They've got the same amount of DRS. It must be said, Big Bear locks that front left once more. It's not going to help the tyres, but at the moment he's holding on just about. I think you've got to argue for one reason. This could be one of Big Bear's best drives. I know it's Monaco, I know it's difficult to overtake, but nevertheless, 29 lap old hards, fending off the fresher medium. Oh, big moment for Ralph, keeps it out the wall. I feel like that could be the win to Big Bear. That gap is going to increase now to almost 2 seconds, 1.8, and we're going to have to turn our attention further back because it's going to take a while for Ralph to claw that, and I'm sure he will. Just a difference in tyre wear, but a big moment. I'm sure a scare as well for him. Gerbs still right behind. That wing mirrors are full of Alfa Romeo. I think he's got a bit of front wing damage. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Runs a little bit wide up through Massenet. May not be able to keep with them like he would have wanted to on those fresh shots. Yellow flag further back, and what's happened to Octavio? He's facing the wrong way, and there's lost completely of his front wing, and I feel like we now have our top 10 decided. But again, this gap just closes up. Ralph almost got that gap within a second. Yellow flags in sector 2, and that's for the Haas, and Clay hits the wall on the inside. Will he be under attack from Pratik? Pratik's going to be challenging. He's going to be looking to try and find a way past. Will he look to the inside? He's going to stick behind for the time being. Maybe playing that a little bit more sensibly. Clay hitting that wall on the exit of Portier. Just clipping the rear on it. And I feel like those soft tyres are starting to feel a little bit worse, where maybe he should have opted for a set of mediums if he had that available to him. Ralph not quite close enough on the run down towards turn. We're on the final lap of this race. That's crept almost quickly. I'd like this to go on for even more. Coming out up through Beaurevar's yellow flags. That's the car. Octavio into the wall. Down at the back. But Ralph now, he's going to give it everything. He's trying to find a way past the overtake. It's just permanently enabled. Needs to play it sensibly. Big Bear, I assume, has got a little bit to defend. And what a drive this is from Big Bear. Locks up that front left once more. Annoyed Gamer on the back of Gerbs as well. That gap's 0.3 of a second as they make their way down towards Mirabeau. But we're coming out of Portier. We're running down. Surely this is the last chance saloon for Ralph. He's giving it absolutely everything. The overtake's being pushed, but the gap's just not close enough. Annoyed Gamer gets another 3-second time penalty. Big Bear, that's a poor run through there, but again, it's just no way past for Ralph behind. I feel like we have seen the overtaking for this race. Maybe a move into Raskas, you never know. Big Bear's got a decent run. That's a bit of a bunny hop, and he's going to have a good run into there, but he's not going to play it. But sensibly and into the back. That's, I think, might be the end of things. Just couldn't quite judge the speed on the old mediums, but it's going to be Big Bear that will come across the line on track to take his 5th win of the season, followed by Ralph. The gap freezes in for a second as they cross the line. Dan has penalties, so does Crankybot. Where's that going to put Flying Boy Val in relation to all this? Currently it's down 3rd, and it is still down 3rd. Annoyed Gamer gets promoted up in a 6th. Calais up, he finishes P5 in the end. This likes to be a Ferrari 3-4. Gerbs gets 10th, Flying Boy Val 9th, Pratik 7th. But the 2 Ferraris, that's good points finish for the Ferrari team, who in the Constructors are currently sat in 7th place. That will help them out quite a bit. But Big Bear takes his 5th win of the season. Ralph gave it absolutely everything, but couldn't quite find a way past So it is a 5th win of the season for for Big Bear. Ralph gets his 5th podium of the season, Mr. Consistent. Like we've said in the past, but 3.5 tenths in between it. So it just shows track position is key at Monaco. And Dan doing the same, really holding on to P3. He gets his 2nd podium of the season. His 2nd podium in RLH as well. Crankybot gets another podium to finish. I'm sorry, not another podium. He finishes P4. Solid 12 points for him, and he now makes it a 2nd, 3rd and 4th as his race finishing tally. He does get driver of the day as well, having starting last, so a very big well done to him, managing to avoid most of the carnage. But the McLaren driver comes out onto the podium and collects it from His Royal Highness, I believe. And it's Ralph and Big Bear, 2 very familiar names on the podium, but Dan picks up that final trophy. But Clay will be happy that he managed to get back up to P5 with penalties at the end. If he didn't get that final 3 seconds, whereabouts would he have slotted in? Maybe take away 3 seconds from his time when it changes back. He would have been P4. So not quite enough for the podium places, but everyone getting penalties just so easy just to sort of cut turn 1 down at the chicane, or any of the chicanes really. And just under safety car, I've got a few unnecessary penalties from some of the drivers as well. But it's Big Bet who takes the fastest lap as well. It's a hat-trick for the McLaren driver. Not quite the Grand Slam, didn't quite lead every lap. But you could argue a little bit fortunate after that mistake, but very much does deserve the win here today. Ralph, P2, managed to make up 1 place. And it was Clay who did drop down. I've got to say it's unfortunate for him with that safety car. It really did, I'd say, cost him the win here today. You could very much argue, or a podium at least. But that is it. Round 8. We are now officially at the halfway point of the season for the C6 guys. We're not racing in Mexico next time out, because next week we have the Nations Cup, and C1 and C3 are redoing Austria after a few technical issues when they tried to do it for the first round of this season. But the next time we're racing in the C6 will be in Montreal. We'll be at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the 8th of October, so 2 weeks from tonight. And Dan J's ready for Mexico. We are racing in Mexico on the 22nd of October, so we will be going to that side of the globe. We go Canada, USA and Mexico, doing the triple North/Mid Americas. So that should be a good 3 rounds after the break week. But we're going to finish it here today. A great race around Monaco. A high drama race, you could very much argue. But it's another win for Big Bet, another podium for Ralph, and drama throughout. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next week for the Nations Cup. I will be commentating on Thursday. So make sure you tune in. I believe that is the final, actually. Unfortunately, I can't commentate on the Wednesday, but I will not be competing in the Nations Cup. I will just be commentating. So make sure you join us next week for that. And of course, the C1 and C3 races on Tuesday as well. Of course, Monday GT Sport. We're racing in the Super Formula Pro and the Super Formula Am. And we head to the Tokyo Expressway for that. So thank you everybody for watching the stream tonight. We've had a fascinating tactical race, a fascinating race in general. And I hope everyone has a good weekend and enjoy the Russian Grand Prix that we have coming up at Sochi, of course in real life, not at RLH.